Let me tell you something most men don't realize until it's too late. It's not the long messages that stay with her, not the arguments, the emotional closure, or even the final goodbye. What truly haunts her is your silent disappearance. It's that night she checks her phone hoping for something, anything from you, and finds only silence. And then, days later, it hits her. Your silence wasn't a pause. It was the end she never saw coming. See, the man who pleads for clarity fades from memory. But the man who disappears with calm and self-respect, he becomes unforgettable. Because he didn't leave to prove anything. He left because he'd outgrown the game. Let's break down what really makes her remember you, not because she still loves you, but because of what she lost. 1. You disappear with intention, not emotion. Disappearing in anger? Predictable. Going quiet to make her miss you? That's manipulation, but walking away because you realized your peace matters more than her attention? That's different. That's strength. You're not leaving for a reaction, you're leaving because there's nothing left to say. No final words, no emotional fireworks. Just a man recognizing a dead end and choosing silence. And that kind of silence? It echoes. It shakes her, because it forces her to confront the version of you she never thought would stop trying. 2. You never break character. Most men cave. They go silent for a few days, then fold at the first, "Hey, how have you been?" But not you. You stay grounded. You don't chase, you don't reply. Not out of coldness, but because you're finally loyal to yourself. You've seen the damage, not just from her leaving, but from staying emotionally available to someone who treated you like a backup plan. So when she tries to reel you back in, you don't flinch. You've become the man who can sit with discomfort without reacting, and that shakes her. Because you're no longer emotionally controllable, you're emotionally in control. 3. You turn her memory into a lesson. Most men cling to the woman. You hold on to the lesson. That's the difference. You don't dig through old photos or scroll her page for clues. You look inward, you ask the tough questions, you confront the part of you that accepted less, that tolerated the bare minimum, that settled for love in pieces. And every time the urge to return hits, you remind yourself, she was a mirror showing you the fractures within. You don't run from that. You study it. Because the pain she caused became the foundation for your transformation. You don't chase the past, you build from it. 4. You don't prove your worth, you live it. Most men try to prove value post-breakup, posting online, flexing, leveling up for show. But not you. You evolve quietly. You grow for real. Not for revenge, but because you finally understand. True worth isn't something you prove. It's something you embody. And while she might eventually notice, by the time she does, you're no longer seeking her validation. You've moved with purpose, and that's what leaves a lasting imprint. 5. You make peace with not being chosen. One of the hardest truths, she didn't choose you. Maybe she moved on fast. But here's what most men miss. You don't need to be chosen to be enough. You stop needing her love to feel lovable, her validation to feel complete. Because rejection isn't about your lack. It's about your redirection. And when a man accepts that, not in bitterness, but in peace, he becomes unshakable. You're no longer driven by hope. You're aligned with purpose. And that version of you? He's unstoppable. 6. You cut every hidden tie. Most men leave the door cracked. Keep photos, messages, social media links, just in case. But you cut every string. Because even one lingering thread can pull you back into chaos you already escaped. You don't do it out of hate. You do it out of deep respect for your future. Healing isn't about pausing the connection. It's about ending it. No more breadcrumbs, no more energy leaks. You stop being haunted by refusing to leave ghosts behind. 7. You become your own guide. You used to shape your decisions around her moods. You softened your truth to keep the peace. You let her emotions steer your direction. Not anymore. Now you lead yourself. You make choices rooted in your own principles, not her approval. You stop wondering, will she be okay with this? And start asking, is this true to me? And that shift, it makes you grounded. And grounded men are terrifying to those who once had control over them. Because when a man leads himself, no one else does. 8. You don't just move on, you evolve. Moving on just means time passed. Evolving means you changed. You stopped being the man who bent, waited, and begged. Now you're the man who wakes up with purpose, not memories, who sleeps in clarity, not confusion. This new version of you, he doesn't belong to her. He doesn't need her to recognize him. Because evolution doesn't need an audience, just discipline. She thought the story ended when she walked away. But really, that was just the preface. Now the real story begins, and she's not in this chapter. Listen, I'm not saying be cold. I'm saying be clear. Your silence isn't punishment. It's self-respect. You're not vanishing to create confusion. You're withdrawing to create space for your strength to grow. And once you start walking in that kind of discipline, everything shifts. She won't remember you for what you pleaded for. She'll remember the moment she lost access and never got it back. So if you're done being an option, disappear like you were never there. And in the comments, write this: my silence is my strength. Because from now on, that's exactly what it is.